morning, everybody. Today we have a very good news, and this news is very important for you for pre-examination. You might have gone through the newspaper today in the Hindu. On the first page of Hindu, the news is poverty levels below 5%, claims Niti Aayog chief. This news has been forecasted by Niti Aayog chief executive officers of the Niti Aayog, BVR Subramaniam, and the facts findings of a household consumption expenditure survey has been discussed. This survey is conducted by Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation, where there is a National Statistical Office. This National Statistical Office consists of two. One is CSO and second is NSSO. We have to see what information has been delivered by TVR Subramaniam. He says that now in India, the only 5% people are below poverty line, and extreme poverty which we had is vanished in our country. The income level of the people has increased. The people are spending more, and as income increases, people spend more on beverages and other items, rather food items. Okay? So these things we shall see what are the findings. So some data, according to data we shall discuss. First data is related to expenditure on food and beverages. Expenditure or proportion of spending on food. How much they spend. India is divided into rural India and urban India. For urban area, in 2011-12, the data says 52.9% people were spending on food, and 42.6% people in urban area, they were spending on food, which means that when there is more poverty, people spend more on food. Okay? But as income level increases, the expenditure on food decreases and expenditure on beverages, other items, non-durable items, that increases. This is an indication that India is growing and income level of the people of the country is gradually increasing. This survey says in 2011-12 in the rural area, 52.9% people were below poverty line, and right now they were spending 52.1%, and right now 46.4% the expenditure on food has decreased. Similarly, in urban area, expenditure on food in 2011-12, it was 42.6%. It has decreased to 39.2%. It shows that people are spending less on food, pulses. People are spending more on other items, beverages, okay, non-veg and durable items. Second data shows that, and it shows this is the symptom of, this is the index of prosperity of the country. The second information by the survey says that the monthly per capita consumption expenditure. This monthly per capita consumption expenditure in comparison to 2011-12, in a rural area, this has increased by 40.42%. And in urban area, this had increased by 35.5%. It shows the what is meaning of this. It means that the consumption expenditure of the people has increased. As income increases, consumption expenditure also increases. And if we take it in terms of data, in 11 years, in a rural area, monthly per capita consumption expenditure is 2008 rupees. This is the average. And in urban area, this data is 3,510 rupees. It means that this consumption expenditure of the people has increased. Level of the people are increasing. Second thing, by the survey shows that like urban-rural inequality. The survey discusses about urban-rural inequality. We know that inequality country, poverty, it is assumed that poverty is more in rural area than to the urban area. But the survey shows this inequality is gradually decreasing. This equality is measured in terms of Gini coefficient. Equality measured in Gini coefficient. Gini coefficient. Gini coefficient is a statistics which measures inequality, and this varies between 0 and 1. If G tends to 0, it means that inequality is decreasing. And if G tends to 1, it implies that this inequality is decreasing. And N tends to 1, this is inequality is increasing. Okay. As per data, in 2014-15, we have a data of Gini coefficient. This is 0.472. 2014-15, G was 0.472. And 2000, according to this survey, 2020-23, this value of the Gini coefficient is 0.402. G equal to 0.402. It shows it implies that it implies that inequality in our country is decreasing. Okay. Similarly, this data also gives some information that if some data, this also gives information like this is monthly per capita expenditure, and also urban rural inequality in India is shrinking. If this one is shrinking, and also this information also shows that less than 5% of Indians are now expected to be below poverty line. Okay. Then says that urban rural consumption divided. Second point is important also. Urban rural consumption divide. Urban rural consumption divide. Urban rural consumption divide. This was 91% in 2004-5. 91% in 2004-5. This has reduced to 71% in 71% in 2022-23. This has decreased. It means that it also shows that gradually the inequality between urban and rural India is gradually decreasing. Next finding of the survey is that the lesser spends on pulses and cereals. The people are spending less on cereals and pulses, and higher expenditure on conveyance, that is lesser expenditure on pulses and cereals, and higher expenditure conveyance, consumer durables and consumer services. Conveyance, consumer durables and consumer services. And consumer services. Next, the survey says that I'm just giving you more data also. And even within the food items, the consumer are spending more on food, milk, fruits. These all are being given more importance. And this survey also says about the inflation. This is retail inflation. The survey says that since weightage in CPI inflation has decreased and base year of CPI inflation is 2011-12, therefore retail inflation will also decrease because weightage in the CPI inflation or retail inflation of a food item has decreased in urban area and rural area. Therefore, this should also decrease, right? And this is according to 2011-12 data, the weightage of food and beverages. Weightage of food and beverages. Weightage of food and beverages in 2011-12 in rural and urban. Rural and urban, the data was 54.2% and 36.3%. And 36.3%. If we take combined rural and urban, and combined was 46%. Therefore, this retail inflation will decrease, core inflation will also decrease. Therefore, it is suggested that base year should be changed. But government, this is the plea of the government that next survey is being conducted, and this has started in the August 2023, and the report of this survey will come, or this survey will finalize in July 2024. After finding of the survey, the government will take final decision to change the base year from 2011-12 to some another year. So these are some of the issues which has been discussed by consumption expenditure survey of the household by Niti Aayog. This topic is important for you for pre-examination. Some question will be asked. And finally, the conclusion of this survey is that the income level of the people of our country is gradually increasing in an urban area as well as and in a rural area. Okay? So you go through the newspaper and find more details. I have explained more over the important facts before you. Okay? Thank you very much. Okay.